Hello, I'm Avery or Hazel or Kylie. You can just pick one, I don't care.
Hello, I am Lily.
And welcome to the From the Closet podcast. Today we are covering Spider-Man Homecoming, which is a little bit of an interesting situation because we've covered the entire Tobey Maguire trilogy and we haven't even touched the Andrew Garfield movies yet, but hey.
Yeah, but I mean, we have to get there eventually. So
Yeah. But anyway, obviously, this podcast will contain spoilers for Spider Man Homecoming. You will find a link in the description below to the Just Watch page for this movie, which itself will have links to every place you can rent, purchase, or stream this movie. Uh, I couldn't really tell you where it is for us here in the US.
stars, I think,
Maybe, I'm not sure. But
or was it like
it
Apple
may come
TV?
to Disney Plus eventually because, like, they did recently add like the Tobey Maguire trilogy and the first Andrew Garfield movie to Disney Plus. So it could just happen.
Yeah, stars, stars with the Roku channel, stars with Apple TV. This stuff, I guess it gets bundled in with a
All
lot of
right.
things. I don't know.
Yeah. So I guess you can watch it on Stars for now. Um, Maybe it'll be on Disney Plus one day, and that'll be a great day. Uh, But regardless, also in the description, you'll find a link to our Patreon where you can vote on future episodes of the show, as well as get access to episodes before they release, as well as early access to episodes of our sister show, Off the Shelf, which is about books, and that podcast is exclusive to YouTube and Patreon. Um, Also, in the description is a link to Spotify for podcasters, which itself has links to every platform that this podcast is on, as well as links to our Instagram and Twitter where you can be notified when we release a new episode. You can join us next week for Hocus Pocus and Peter Pan, and you can join us next month for Store Ragnarok. Yeah,
Ragnarok is
Thor.
coming.
Yes, Ragnarok indeed is coming. But anyway, we're eventually also, of course, going to get to Spider-Man Far From Home, but I mean, that's a long way off.
I mean, I don't think it's worth looking when that is.
I'm pretty sure it's in December.
Really? Okay, no, I'm checking you. Guess it is.
Yeah, because I thought I'd remembered, like, with how it all worked out, we'd have ended up finishing Phase 3 at the end of this year.
Right, yeah. I just don't know how,
And,
like, when the last movie is or how phases work.
yeah, well, phases work however the fuck Marvel wants them to
This is
work.
why I have you.
Yeah, but Spider-Man Far From Home is the last movie in Phase 3, which, thinking about it, um, it's not often we get a superhero solo movie twice, like for the same superhero in the same phase. Like
Hmm.
it happened with Iron Man in phase 1, there was Iron Man and Iron Man 2. And like here it happens again with Spider-Man Homecoming and uh Far From Home. Oh, I guess I should say get out of here if you want to avoid spoilers because we're going to be talking about the movie.
Oh, I mean, talking about the movie Iron Man. The
Yeah, Iron Man is present. But before we like dig too deep into this movie, I do want to talk about one
hmm.
thing. So yesterday, I watched two movies for this podcast, and there's a very interesting situation.
Hmm.
There's a very interesting thing they have in common.
I think I know what you're going to
Both
say. Something.
movies,
Um.
both movies have at least one instance of someone referring to Native Americans as Indians. However, this movie that character gets immediately corrected.
Well, did he get corrected and it's like, I don't really care that much.
Yeah, to be fair though, that character was the villain. So,
That is true.
and speaking of this villain, I just got to complain about it. I know a lot of people are kind of tired of hearing it, but I very much dislike how in the first two movies, um, well, actually just in the first movie, um, Tony Stark is too busy to deal with a certain character who's angry at him, so Spider-Man has to fight him. Of course, in the second movie, well, Tony Stark literally couldn't fight him.
That's ominous. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sadly, I already know that.
Uh, but yeah, this it wouldn't be until Spider-Man No Way Home where we start actually getting classic Spider-Man villains. Um,
I don't.
so I mean, I
I've
guess
like from what I've saw of Spider-Man villains, and I've seen quite a few of them. I've found a constant trend of science goes too far, and science today has definitely gone too far. We have like these
yeah.
alien weapons now. The only thing that's different about these bad guys than your typical Spider-Man villain is they don't regret a thing.
There's also a particular issue I have with this villain specifically, and it's like, oh yeah, he becomes a villain because like he's mad Tony Stark basically put him out of a job. And I'm just like, you're trying to justify this by saying you need to provide for your daughter, but just like get a job.
Well, technically, supplying weapons is his job.
Get a real job.
I mean, I imagine supplying weapons pays well. That's why people do bad things.
Doesn't mean it's a real job. Just like landlords.
Yeah, well, they both be evil, but I think the motivation behind this is pretty solid. It's not like he is, sympathetic or anything, but there's a clear line of why he does what he does. Hello?
I'm still here.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
just
just being
trying
silent.
to. It's. I'm sorry, it just comes across as really, really dumb to me that, like, he, he doesn't try looking for any other jobs, he just immediately jumps to crime.
Mm. Some people are just like that. You don't need like, 5-page sympathetic backstory. Not like what was it, the evil villain in Iron Man 1. He just did it for money.
I mean, with him, you're not, like, there's a difference there. Like, he, I don't know how to put this. If you're trying to do this for your daughter, there's a good chance you get caught because you're doing crimes. And then, what does your daughter have?
Um Someone that can't tell time correctly in prison.
Yeah. So this movie was co-produced between uh, Sony and Marvel Studios, and there's a particular issue with the timeline in this movie, and it's that really, really annoying 8 years later thing. It has not been 8 years since the Avengers. Like, it just fucking hasn't. It's been four.
And here's the thing, and when you were explaining this to me, you said that it was only mentioned in like that, big screen, and they could just easily remove that. But there was another mention of it in this movie.
Yeah, and that other mention I didn't remember, but
I
there's
imagine
like
you,
dialogue mistakes in a lot of
yeah, I
places.
imagine you caught it your second time viewing.
But regardless, like there's dialogue mistakes like that in a lot of other Marvel movies. It's actually something I really appreciated in Agents of Shield season 4. We didn't really talk about it in that episode, but instead of like trying to figure out exactly when things take place on the timeline, they would just be like back in the day or some time ago.
I remember it like it was yesterday. It could have been yesterday, it could have been 5 years ago.
Could have been back before I existed. But yeah, putting the Avengers 8 years ago would put it before Iron Man.
Hmm.
So, because Iron Man takes place in 2009, which leads to another Well, I'm not sure I can call it a mistake. I just call it a questionable line of dialogue.
I'm
Because
interested.
Happy Happy says he has been carrying the ring around since 2008.
I can believe it.
Yeah, like it sort of works,
It-
but it used to be the position that Iron Man took place in 2008, and it worked better then.
Hmm.
But Iron Man just flat out can't take place in 2008.
Yeah.
For one, Iron Man 2 is supposed to take place in 2010, and it's 6 months after Iron Man.
God, I hate timeline things. You know what's sad, funny, and just mostly sad actually? I think Kingdom
What's
Hearts
that?
had its timeline more consistent.
I don't know if I'd agree with that. I mean, I think this timeline it just needed a couple of people to be like, "Hey, let's fix these mistakes, like minor issues." But I mean, there's a very clear MCU timeline that works. And maybe when and if Spider-Man: Homecoming comes to Disney Plus, they'll actually just correct the 8 years later card to 4 years later.
Maybe, maybe not. But then you have
I
the
mean, they've corrected
dialogue. You know,
they have corrected other timeline issues
hmm.
before.
Hopefully if they remember it.
But yeah, I think this movie is pretty great. I really love Tom Holland as Peter Parker. He makes a much more
Oh my
entertaining Peter
God,
Parker than
he
Tobey
he just
Maguire
brings
did.
so much youth to the table. I don't think I've seen such a youthful character, especially as Spider-Man.
And the funny thing is, Tom Holland's older than me.
Like I can really sense that Peter is in like this high school, you know, um,
Yeah.
high school age.
There is also the complaint that people have levied at this movie that it doesn't give you any indication that spider sense is a thing.
Eh? I mean, I had so much to work with in this movie. Spider Sense, I can take a backseat for a while. Like, oh my god, The suit Tony provided. Also, I love how Spider-Man gave the little voice and name.
That name sure did not age
Oh, hell
well.
did not. But now I can see an AI screaming for someone's manager.
But yeah, obviously, like the AI being named Karen. Mm. And it's funny. A lot of people are getting sick of the word Karen, and I'm just like, well, I mean, as long as people aren't respecting fast food workers and retail employees, we're gonna keep calling them Karens, and I don't care if you're over it or
Yeah.
not.
Karen, the name has the popularity has definitely decreased in the coming days. It's a shame, but
That
whatever. You know what can we do?
yeah. Um, I also really, really love the twist in this movie where it's revealed that like the Vulture, the main villain, that's what he's called,
Hmm.
um, is Liz's dad.
I'm sensing some parallels here. Yeah, I'm sensing.
Like
Yeah,
it's just something you never see coming.
that is true. Despite like in Spider-Man 1, we did know that that. Yeah, no, I'm just seeing a big parallel between what you just explained and what happened in Spider-Man 1.
What are you talking
Green
about?
Goblin.
I mean, yeah, that's Harry's father, but I mean, I don't think that was
Well,
a
wasn't it?
massive.
I just imagine. Well, it's just that it happened. I wonder if
But
our
yeah,
new character is gonna try to get revenge for putting her father in prison.
I doubt it.
Oh,
They'd have to do a lot of work to explain how she even knows who Peter Parker is.
that is true.
No, I mean Peter Parker, not Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, like she's not supposed to remember ever knowing Peter Parker at all.
And why is that?
You'll find out later.
Okay then. Though she would still
But
remember
yeah,
Spider-Man, right?
yeah, she would remember Spider-Man existing.
So then she can just have vengeance against Spider-Man.
Maybe.
Also, I'm actually a little bit disappointed in this movie. And I know we'll get him later, but like, I want my J. Jonah Jamesons.
I mean, yeah, we will get him later. That's going to be fun. We got to talk about Ned though, because Ned is a fucking treasure.
Ned's the person that was helping Spider-Man, right?
Yeah,
What?
Ned is Ned is just fantastic.
Okay.
What do you mean? Okay.
They didn't answer my question.
Yeah, I did. I said yes.
God, there's been cutting. Okay. Now I see what's happening now. Um. Yeah. Ned was an interesting character. I don't think we've ever had a character like that in the other Spider-Man movies we've watched.
Yeah, I mean the closest thing would be Harry, but Harry kind of like turned into a supervillain and tried to kill Peter Parker in that movie. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Hell, I don't like.
I mean,
Also, um, Tony Stark's in this movie. I love the role that he played.
yeah, I feel like Tony Stark just kind of. It's weird that there's no Iron Man 4.
Yeah, I guess
Because,
Iron
like,
Man just existed in this movie, and that's about it.
well, this movie and Civil
Oh
War.
yeah,
Um, I feel like maybe he was so prominent in those two movies to, like, kind of compensate for the fact that there wasn't going to be an Iron Man 4. It's just a little bit weird. But yeah, the relationship between Peter and Tony is an interesting one.
oddly wholesome. It's weird to see Tony caring about someone that's also male.
It, I mean, it's in a parental sort of way, kind of.
And I mean, that's even
Um, I,
weirder
I,
to see Tony
I do
in a parental figure.
I do appreciate the line, like the exchange of dialogue, where like Peter says to Tony, "I just wanted to be like you," and like Tony says, "Yeah, and I wanted you to be better."
That God, the two of them just have an interest. I mean, Tony has seen. Well, what hasn't Tony seen at this point? And he's just trying to keep.
Thanos.
Oh God damn it! He's just trying to keep Peter safe, which does not do anything. Also, the
Yeah, and
training
like
wheels protocol. What was the like baby monitoring protocol?
yeah, the baby monitor protocol.
Like he does so much stuff to make sure that he's okay at all times.
Yeah, it's the thing that's frustrating though, is that like he and Happy don't really take Peter seriously at all when there's like an actual major issue going down.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that makes a little bit of sense because,
Okay,
well, I feel like Tony should be
okay,
dealing
hold
with it
on.
himself, but
Well, Tony does take it a little seriously, but he doesn't like l- let Peter know that. He leads Peter to believe that he's not taking it seriously. And so like that leads to the whole boat incident.
yeah, I mean, it, Iron Man making miscalculations like other people's feelings, for some reason that's in character.
Yeah. And one thing I really really do love a scene like near the end, um when like Peter is pinned underneath something and he just starts calling out for other people, and he has to come to realization that like this is what the job is all about. If you can't if you can't get out of this situation on your own, then you're not cut out for this.
And then he does.
Yeah.
Which, my God, that super strength, radio radioactive spiders really do numbers to your muscles.
Yeah, and speaking of the radioactive spider, I do love that they don't bother going into Peter Parker's origin story. Because I mean, like even Kevin Feige himself, like CEO of Marvel Studios, said like it's already been done twice in recent years. Why would I do it again?
Yeah, I guess we all know his origin story.
Yeah,
Uncle dies,
I mean they at
radioactive
least
spider. Um, he probably killed someone.
yeah they at least mention the spider, but that's about it.
Yeah. Actually, now that
And,
I think about it, who do you think? Because obviously he got the powers and then killed some villain, right? I wonder. Do you think Green Goblin was previously in this universe and just got wrecked, or is he to
well,
come?
I mean, I don't think I don't think they ever established that he killed any villain
Well,
in this
killed
universe.
is also what's with that death mode? I'm sorry to just go way off topic, but why does his suit just have like an instant death mode, instant kill mode?
I mean, that can be pretty useful.
Yeah, I don't think Peter's gonna use it
Oh, you don't?
unless I don't know. We fucking see Venom, um, and we go into the route of Spider-Man 3 again.
I mean, we will see Venom at some point. Hopefully, it'll be better than what they did with Spider-Man 3 or Venom.
That is a
But
whole own
yeah,
movie. Still sucked. At least that's what I hear.
yeah. But yeah, like we will. I feel like it's not much of a stretch to say we will see that instant kill mode used later.
I wonder how it works. Does it just snap everyone's neck, or does it actually use the webs?
You'll find out.
Also, who's developing the webs? Because I was under the impression that um, uh, sorry, Peter was making all of these web formulas and all that. But is Tony actually making some of them as well?
I mean, a lot of the web, like before he received the suit from Tony Stark, Peter was indeed like making all of his own web fluid. Um, but like when Tony Stark um gave him a suit, I'm getting the impression that the suit is just modifying his webs.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, like
It's not about the formula, it's
I don't know.
about how it's being shot out.
Yeah, exactly, and the kinds of things applied to it, because like technically, like the taser webs can be activated whenever he wants.
Which I have to say, that is really cool. Also, the ricochet web.
Yeah,
Also, I think there's like a spider web bomb.
web
Yeah, web
grenade.
grenade, that's what it was. There was
Yeah,
just
like
so
that was
much
pretty cool too.
stuff that Tony added to that suit. Also, also acts as a heater.
Yep, heater, lot of stuff in it. And then there's like another upgraded suit that's just kind of sitting there. Um, that was offered to him, but he didn't take it.
So, was he receive like did he receive his old suit back or the new one?
It was the old one.
Oh, I see. Oh, and then can we
Yeah,
see at the last? Can we talk about the last moment of that movie?
I was just about to go into it when like Aunt May is like just kind of standing there and she sees Spider-Man in Peter Parker's room. and then he takes off his like head covering thing, and it's Peter, and she just goes, "What the fuck?"
Of course, that gets cut off, but also the ending credits was such a fucking troll to everyone, including Captain America.
Yeah, I mean, you did watch both the post credit scenes, right?
Yep, I did see the first one, which I actually have no idea what that was. I
That was Vulture in prison.
Well, yeah, I just don't know
Comes,
who the other person was. I'm
I really don't know
I'm
either.
guessing I'll find out.
Maybe
Wait, how do you not know?
because I don't think they've dealt with it.
I thought they would just like deal with it in the next Spider-Man movie, and that was like the next
Oh
villain.
yeah, no,
Huh. Well, okay then. That's something to for both of us to look forward to, I guess. You
maybe
closer
if they remember.
if they remember, yeah.
I mean, they had that whole thing with the leader in the Incredible Hulk, uh, where like, oh, a little bit of Hulk's blood seeped into this scientist dude, and he starts turning into a monster. They still haven't fucking dealt with that, and they're supposed to be dealing with that sometime soon. And I'm just like, oh yeah, cool. It's been like what, 15 years in the MCU?
Yeah, also, wait, hold a second. Sorry, I was just like processing in my brain. If they this new person has like these Hulk powers or something and probably gonna use them for evil. Um 15 years, I feel like they would have, used it and then got busted or something.
Yeah. I mean, that's just my feeling. I also kind of get the feeling that the whole conflict in this movie almost feels like something S.H.I.E.L.D. would deal with if they weren't busy doing other shit.
Oh, absolutely. Where was
I
Shield
mean,
at this point anyway?
I'd have to look at my timeline,
Hmm.
but I suspect they were doing exactly what we saw them doing in season 4.
I was just wondering, like, what arc? Because I mean, in the first part of that series, I think they could have spared a little bit of time. Anything after that, probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, everything that went down in season 4 of that show was insane.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, that's a lot. Which, actually, it's not. The episode hasn't been even been released yet.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Hmm? Oh, our episode hasn't been released yet.
Neat.
I just remember that.
But yeah, Shield's probably gonna be busy for a while.
Yeah,
Um,
the ending definitely didn't leave them any room to breathe.
but yeah,
What about the rest of the
I don't know.
crew
Like,
happening? I mean, we'll find out what Thor's going through in the next movie. Captain America is taking some time off, though we did. You know what's weird about did Captain America literally record all of these messages for schools?
yeah, apparently.
Oh,
But also, Captain America's in Wakanda.
yeah, right now anyway. Um, Wait, hold on a second. So did you catch that person? Like in the school, they were talking about the Sokovia Accord.
Yeah,
I just found that interesting. Oh yeah,
I found it kind of funny that like some of the academic decathlon questions had like vibranium as one of the answers.
Yeah, I guess new element now.
Yeah,
Along with every
it,
other thing in alien technology.
yeah, it's
It's a lot.
education in this universe must be weird.
I imagine what the fucking periodic table would look like now.
Yeah, because that's confusing as shit, especially considering they had a full, complete periodic table, at least what we would consider a full, complete periodic table, just hanging on a wall in Agent Carter.
So we can either consider that a mistake or that this universe is so advanced that they discovered all of our elements so so early on.
Yeah, like for reference here, in the real world, element 118 was discovered in 2002, and Agent Carter takes place in the 40s.
Yeah, I mean, I just imagine that wasn't a mistake and that's just Marvel being like, "Oh, by the way, this universe is so much better than our own universe." Anyway, take care.
Yeah, and so far in the MCU, how many new elements have we been
I
introduced
don't want to
to?
count.
I mean, there's vibranium, and there is the whatever element that Tony Stark created.
Oh, right, yeah, Tony Stark made a new element. Because he's Tony Stark.
Yeah, and a reminder that that element was supposedly impossible to synthesize,
But he's Tony
and he
Stark.
just immediately does it by being smart and doing it.
God, I mean,
It also worked immediately, which is not how element creation ever happens.
so of course it doesn't matter anymore because he no longer needs that thing in his chest.
Right.
Though, it still powers his suit, right?
Yeah, it does.
How great. We saw like a lot of these
But
characters, so we just have no idea, what's going on with them. I mean, what about Hulk? Hulk hasn't had a movie in, well, Hulk hasn't had a good movie in a long time. He also hasn't had a single movie, um, in any phases, right?
phase one, I mean, that's the only Hulk movie we've gotten is The Incredible
That's
Hulk
the only, and
ever.
is the only Hulk movie we're gonna get, right?
Maybe.
I mean, we still have the other Hulks to consider, like Red Hulk and She Hulk. What about Blue Hulk? Is there a Blue Hulk?
Technically there is, but he's called A-Bomb, and he hasn't been introduced in the MCU, and I don't even think he's been teased
I like the name Blue Hulk better. Also, why are there so many Hulks?
because.
Okay.
But yeah, the we will be seeing like where Hulk is soon.
Also, the entire Sokovia Accords. Obviously, we get like brief mentions of that. That's still happening, but we don't really see that come into conflict in this movie.
Well, yeah, because I mean, to my knowledge, Peter probably signed,
Yeah,
considering he was on the side of Iron Man in that movie.
that's what I'm
I also
guessing.
really, I also really love like there was the whole conversation about like how like Peter was questioning why the hell like Tony let him fight Captain America, but isn't letting him fight like the Vulture. And like Tony's like, dude, if Cap wanted to lay you out, he would have.
Oh yeah. And also there was a point in that fight where Iron Man just realized, "Oh, I'm an idiot. Hey, kid that I brought onto the battlefield, just stop. Your work
Yeah,
is no longer
just
needed."
stop. Yeah, and before we wrap this up, I do want to talk about a little bit of a reveal that happens at the end of the movie.
Hmm.
That this girl character played by Zendaya, who we have seen before. Granted, we saw her before in Zapped, but we
Mm,
have seen her before.
where?
What do you mean where? I just said it.
No, I mean you said that we've seen her before in Zap, but then I
Yeah, and
thought,
then I said no, I said in Zapped.
yeah. Oh, is that it?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought we just saw her 2 times, and you're gonna reveal the second
not that
time.
I know of. No, but anyway, they had referred to her as Michelle a lot,
Mm-hmm.
uh, in this movie, and then like at the end, she says, "But my friends call me MJ."
Oh, I see. I don't think I caught that. So yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense. That she was supposed to be MJ.
Yeah,
I mean, we definitely do see
but
Parker like head over heels to just talk to her.
well, that was to
Oh
Liz.
right, yeah, to Liz. Did anything happen to Liz?
Well, her dad went to prison, and now she's moving.
Oh right. Oh yeah, she's moving to Oregon.
Was it
Yeah, it was
Oregon?
Oregon.
Interesting.
I imagine. Okay, now I'm starting to remember the events of what happened. We probably won't be seeing Liz, won't we?
I haven't seen her
Yeah,
since then, and I'm like caught up with the MCU. Well, except apparently Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is out now, and I haven't watched that yet, and I probably won't get a chance to see it in
I
theaters.
doubt Liz shows up in that movie.
I do too. But yeah, let's wrap this up.
Oh yeah. I guess I better get up to them. And here they are. Why can I never finish this sentence? But here are the critic ratings. IMDb gives it a 7.4 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 92%. Just Watch gives it an 82%. And 81% of Google users like this movie.
I think I'm just gonna give this like a flat 8. I didn't think about this one at all, but like it's not one of the best MCU movies, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't actually given my rating much thought, but if I had to just quickly think, probably 8.3. Like you said, it isn't the best movie, but far from the worst.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty hard to beat movies like Captain America the Winter Soldier and Captain America Civil War.
But hey, um, but I guess that's everything we came here to say.
Yeah. So you can join us next week for Hocus Pocus and Peter Pan, and next month for Thor Ragnarok. And also later in the month for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4.
That was a banger, all right.
Yeah. Holy hell. But anyway, until next time, I've been Avery, that's been Lily, and we will be seeing you.